There are seasons in life that quietly break you, not loudly, not dramatically, but slowly. You wake up, do what you're supposed to do, try your best, and still feel like nothing is moving. You're not lazy, you're not careless, you didn't give up. You actually tried, and that's what makes it hurt. You prayed before making decisions. You stayed patient longer than you wanted to. You avoided shortcuts even when others took them and moved ahead faster. Yet here you are, still waiting, still stuck, still wondering if you misunderstood God. This is the moment when doubt doesn't come screaming. It whispers, maybe you're behind. Maybe you missed your chance. Maybe Jesus helps others more than you. But here's something most people forget. Jesus understands this kind of season better than anyone. Before crowds followed him, there were years of silence. Before miracles, there were ordinary days. Before purpose was visible, there was obedience with no recognition. Jesus lived nearly 30 years before his public work began. 30 years of normal life. No applause. No visible impact. No evidence, at least. None that people could see that anything extraordinary was happening. And yet those unseen years were not wasted. Jesus knows what it feels like to do everything right and still not be celebrated. He knows what it's like to be overlooked, misunderstood, and underestimated. He knows the pain of effort that doesn't immediately turn into results. So when you're working hard and nothing is changing, it doesn't mean God has forgotten you. It doesn't mean Jesus is disappointed. It doesn't mean your faith is weak. It means you're in a season that builds something deeper than success. We often assume that progress should be loud, that God's work should be obvious, that if Jesus is involved, things should move faster. But some of God's most important work happens quietly inside you, not around you. Jesus never rushed purpose. He walked patiently, trusting the Father even when the outcome wasn't visible yet. And maybe that's what this season is teaching you. Not how to win faster, but how to stand longer. Not how to prove yourself, but how to trust without proof. Not how to impress, but how to endure. If your effort feels invisible right now, remember this: Jesus sees it, even when no one else does. An effort that feels unseen is often the foundation for strength you'll need later. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where faith is built quietly. One of the hardest parts of this season isn't just the waiting, it's the comparison. You scroll through your phone and see people celebrating milestones you're still praying for. New jobs, engagements, promotions, happy faces, big announcements. And suddenly your quiet life feels small. You're not jealous of their success. You're just tired of feeling left behind. You start asking questions you never wanted to ask. Why them and not me? Why is my progress slower? Did I do something wrong? Even when you love Jesus, comparison can creep in unnoticed. It doesn't make you ungrateful, it makes you human. But Jesus never measured life by speed. When he walked the earth, he didn't rush from place to place proving himself. He didn't compete with others. He didn't chase validation. He moved with intention, not urgency. And there were moments when people walked away from him choosing quicker answers, easier paths, louder promises. Still, Jesus stayed steady. He knew something we often forget. Not everyone is meant to arrive at the same time. Your life is not late. Your journey is not behind. Your pace is not a mistake. Jesus never compares your chapter to someone else's highlight. He sees the whole story. Sometimes others move ahead faster because they're not carrying what you're carrying. They don't feel your weight. They don't fight your battles. They don't face your fears. And they won't develop the strength you're developing right now. Jesus often allows slow seasons not to punish us, but to prepare us. Preparation doesn't look impressive. It looks boring. It looks repetitive. It looks like effort with little reward. But preparation is where endurance is formed. And endurance matters. Because success without strength breaks people. Jesus knows what kind of future you're walking into. He knows what you'll need to survive it, not just reach it. And sometimes he slows the journey to strengthen the heart. If you feel left behind while others move forward, remember this. Jesus is not rushing you because he is not finished with you. The silence is not rejection. The delay is not denial. The stillness is not abandonment. It's refinement. And one day, when you look back, you won't envy the speed of others. You'll be grateful for the depth God built in you. Jesus isn't asking you to run. He's asking you to stay faithful. Even here, even now. There is something important you need to understand about Jesus. He does not stand far away watching your struggle like a distant observer. He walks through it with you. Jesus knows what it feels like to be overlooked. He knows what it feels like to be misunderstood. He knows what it feels like to give everything and still not be celebrated. For most of his life, Jesus lived quietly. No crowds, no recognition, no applause. While others were building careers, families, and reputations, he worked with his hands, lived simply, and waited. 30 years of silence, 3 years of ministry. That alone should comfort you. If God himself waited, your waiting is not wasted. When Jesus finally stepped into his purpose, he didn't step into ease. He stepped into rejection, pressure, criticism, and suffering. And yet he never doubted the Father's timing. He trusted the process even when it hurt. So when you feel like everyone else is winning and you're still struggling, remember this: Jesus does not measure your life by what you've achieved. He measures it by who you're becoming. The world celebrates outcomes. Jesus cares about transformation. And transformation often happens in hidden places. Right now you might feel invisible. You might feel tired of trying. You might feel like you're running out of strength just to keep going. But Jesus is closest in these moments. Not when you're winning. Not when you're celebrated. But when you're exhausted and still choosing to stand. He sees the prayers you don't say out loud. He sees the nights you go to bed disappointed. He sees the effort no one applauds. And he is not disappointed in you. Sometimes the struggle is not a sign that God has forgotten you. Sometimes it's a sign that he trusts you with deeper growth. Because people who learn to rely on Jesus in the struggle don't collapse when success finally comes. One day the season will shift. Not suddenly but surely. And when it does, you'll realize the struggle built something in you that comfort never could. Until then, Jesus walks beside you, not rushing you, not pressuring you, not comparing you, just walking. And that matters more than winning. If you're still struggling while others seem to be ahead, hold on to this truth. Your story isn't over, and your struggle is not the end. Jesus is with you in this season, and he will carry you into the next. Even if no one else sees it yet, there is a strength Jesus builds that cannot be rushed. It does not come from winning. It does not come from being ahead. It does not come from applause. It comes from endurance. When you walk with Jesus through seasons where nothing seems to change, something is still happening inside you. Your faith is being deepened. Your identity is being clarified. Your dependence is shifting from circumstances to Christ. Jesus never promised that following him would make life easy. He promised it would make life meaningful. And meaning is often forged in struggle. When everyone else appears to be moving forward and you feel stuck, Jesus is not asking you to run faster. He is asking you to remain faithful where you are. Faithfulness in obscurity is louder in heaven than success in public. Jesus spent time with people who were struggling long before he performed miracles for them. He sat with the weary. He listened to the overlooked. He noticed the ones society walked past. And he notices you now. The world may define success by speed, wealth, influence, and recognition, but Jesus defines it by obedience, humility, love, and trust. You are not behind in life. You are being prepared for it. There are things God cannot teach you in seasons of ease. Strength learned in comfort fades quickly. Strength learned in hardship lasts. Jesus understands the weight of waiting. He understands unanswered prayers. He understands watching others celebrate while you quietly endure. And still he chose to trust the Father. That same Jesus is walking with you now, shaping you into someone who can carry future blessings without being crushed by them. Because blessings without character can destroy a person, but blessings built on character can bless many. So if you feel like you're still struggling while others are winning, don't assume you've failed. You may be in a season where God is doing his most important work. You are learning patience. You are learning humility. You are learning resilience. You are learning to rely on Jesus instead of outcomes. And one day when life looks different, you'll realize the struggle didn't break you, it anchored you. Until then, do not measure your worth by comparison. Do not rush your process. Do not lose heart. Jesus has not left you behind. He is walking at your pace, and that is exactly where you need to be.